as you guys checking in, you don't know the shreps, yeah? Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. But we're going to discuss Mount Pleasant. Yeah, we're going to discuss Mount Pleasant, the CONCACAF Champion League draw, as you could call it, the CONCACAF Champions Cup, yeah? Draw happened last night where Mount Pleasant know which side of the bracket they will be and which team might go on to face in the round of 16. So round 1 fixtures conclude, but round of 16 yet to conclude as round 1 have to play first. So Mount Pleasant definitely might potentially face a MLS club or a Panamanian team. So we're going to talk about, Mount Pleasant going into this tournament as well, because it's a big thing. We have to talk about this because this is our Champions League. Yeah, JPL team playing in the continental tournament of the CONCACAF region. Big thing. And also we're going to talk about Romain Burrell. Yeah, what the journalists and the QPR fans been saying about Romain Burrell over the last week or so, and a little bit of insight of what happened in that Burrell versus Gray showdown at Loftus Road. So that's what coming up in this video. Yeah, so if you haven't liked the video as yet, yeah, please do so at this moment. If you haven't subscribed to the channel as yet, please do so at this moment. So we're going to talk about Tappa with more, Peter Gould and the superstars that will be on show coming up next year in the CONCACAF Champions Cup for Mount Pleasant. Big opportunity. This is where Peter Gould, Tappa, and the players want to be. Yeah, let's see if they can create history amongst JPL teams. So right after this, catch me on the rebound on the other side. Yeah, so ready to talk about Mount Pleasant. Yes, Mount Pleasant. It's time to talk about another JPL team. So Mount Pleasant find themselves in the run of 16 because they are the Caribbean champions. Kudos to them. Really appreciate that. Yet again, another Jamaican Premier League team conquer the region. We talk about the region, the Caribbean region. That's what we need JPL teams to be doing, year by year on a more consistent basis, beating the Dominican teams, beating the Trinidad team, beating the Asian team and the Surinamese team to get in this position and to get a buy-in to the round of 16. So Mount Pleasant found themselves in the right possible side. If you ask me, if you look on the top after round 1 fixtures, you have Pumas and San Diego. You don't want to go there and to face a possibility of one of those teams. Cruz Azul and Vancouver. We see Vancouver, the damage that they did over the MLS season that just concluded a while in a short space ago, almost get a possible very good result versus Inter Miami. Cruz Azul, a very good team, don't have rich history, head-to-head result versus JPL teams and Cruz Azul. You see what they did to Portmore in the past, Club Monterrey as well, top team. You don't want to be in that side of possibility of face one of those teams. LAFC and Real España, I don't think Mount Pleasant could have get a better spot to face either the Panamanian team or the LA Galaxy team, which they were a very good team before the injury of Ricky Puig, but post Ricky Puig ACL injury, it's not the same LA Galaxy team. Yes, they found themselves in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Let's see what Mount Pleasant will bring to the show. Will Marco Rice and Ricky Puig come to Jamaica in the near future? So no Messi mania for the reggaeboyz fan in the National Stadium this time around. Messi go on to win the MLS Cup, which you'd see Vancouver is on the same side of Mount Pleasant, while Inter Miami is on the other side. So we're going to talk more into what it's like, for JPL teams to be in this region. We have seen Rudolph Speed brought Messi, last campaign. Didn't score a goal. Before that, it was Acosta, another Argentinian. Cincinnati didn't score a goal. They get dismantled in a way where it's like it wasn't no challenge. Yes, that first leg in Miami, it was a very good, I think it was a very good game by Cavalier. They showed a lot of art. They were fearless. They played brave. They at least tried to play football. I don't know if it because Javier Mascherano and Inter Miami much about the Cavalier team, why Rudolph Speed and Co get away with a lot of stuff in that game. Cavalier, I think, did score a goal in that game and it was ruled out. You understand? I think it was offside. I think it was a John Mara Calvin goal. So look, Cavalier should have at least a goal in the last 2 campaigns, but failed to score in the last 2 campaigns. But piggyback further back 2020 tournament post-COVID, Portmore and Shavar Thomas them, play Cruz Azul in the National Stadium. Last first leg 2-1, went to Mexico in the Azteca. Lost the game again 4-1. That's 6-2 on aggregate in 2006. It was Arborview. Host DC United at the compound, draw that game 1-1, went to Washington, lost that game 5-0. Portmore again would have played Big Club America, in two-legged tie in this same competition. Lost the first leg 2-1 and then lost the other leg in Mexico 5-1. So that is a 7-2 aggregate for Portmore, for Club America over Portmore in that year of 2005. And right further down, before that, Arnett Garden would have played Club Necaxa, over a two-legged game where I remember vividly watching that game at Arnett, my team. Of course, I'm going to remember that game. He's a junglist. My father's an outright junglist supporter. So I remember watching that game. Even, Arnett Garden was robbed. All I remember, it was a white referee. I don't know if he's a Canadian, if he's a American or a Costa Rican or Mexican. I don't know. I don't know. But I know he's a white referee, and that fella, robbed Arnett blatantly with a Kevin Pele Wilson outright dribble into the box of the Necaxa defensive third. It was clear, obvious penalty. You watching it from the stand. I remember that. So Arnett Garden would have drawn that game 0-0 at home, and also Necaxa would have beat Arnett Garden 1-0. So what that says, clubs, the JPL clubs, they did okay at home when it comes on to these games. I think it was Cavalier is the only team. I think Cavalier was the only team out of all the teams that play their first leg away and get a very good result to bring back to Jamaica, but couldn't really take advantage of the positive result that they got. And I think, look at it, it was a very close encounter in Miami, but they couldn't get over the line in the National Stadium versus Messi when Messi was on the field as well. So JPL teams get very good result at home. Now looking at this, Mount Pleasant going to face either LA Galaxy or Sporting SM from the Panamanian League. If Mount Pleasant going to get anything, positive or try to create damage that no other JPL teams have done since the start of the 20th century, they going to have to win or get a positive result, at home. Is it that first leg going to play away, or the first leg going to play at home? It doesn't matter. Wherever the game going to play first, and it's going to be in Jamaica, and home side, they have to get a very good result. So I'm looking at it, man, this is where Peter Gould want to be. This is where Tappa Whitmore want to be, and the players. And I do feel let me know in the comment section if this Mount Pleasant team is better than the previous Arborview team that played in 06 tournament and the Portmore team that played in the 05 tournament. You know that 06 team for Arborview, they have player like Jeremy New, Lovell Palmer. I think Lovell Palmer did score in that tie as well. Portmore did have the Rowan Nelson, the Wolf, those type of players as well were on show for Portmore. So let me know if this Mount Pleasant team going into this tournament is the most probably star-studded team that have, a lot of players that would have played youth football, senior football for the national team as well. The backing of Peter Gould, a very good coach like Tappa Whitmore, who's proving, season by season that he's getting better in his coaching career. So Mount Pleasant have the backing, the financial backing, the preparation, the infrastructure to go with that as well. So Mount Pleasant should be backing themselves to get a very good result, versus either LA Galaxy or Sporting SM. To me, I'm going to back the Jamaican team to do good in this tournament. And I think if there will be a shift of the guard amongst JPL teams in this CONCACAF Champions Cup, it has to start from Mount Pleasant. Even if Mount Pleasant cannot get it right and they have the best team that ever assembled, over the last decade and a half in the Jamaican Premier League, then I don't know which team is going to do it. But that team though, the Arnett Garden team with Kevin Pele Wilson and the Gang of Five coming from Charlie, they're on display, the 2003 as well. It was a very good team. The Portmore team was a very good team. The Harbourview team was a very damn good team as well. At the time, leading up to the 20th century, Arnett Garden would have probably win one of the Premier League. Harbourview would have dominate as well. Portmore as Hazard would have dominate as well. The early part of the 2000s. So yeah, let me know, man, if Mount Pleasant is the outright more star-studded team that will go into this tournament as a JPL team. But moving on to talking a little bit of what happened in that game. So the game yesterday, Romain Burrell versus Demarai Gray at Loftus Road. Demarai Gray, Birmingham City started the game on a more positive note where they were more, camping out in the defensive third of the QPR team. Burrell struggled to get the game He struggled to get into the game and to get on the ball in the first 15 to 25 minutes. But when he did, you could see that this is a player that is playing with a lot of confidence. But Demarai Gray showed me something yesterday where he wanted to take on his opponent. He wanted to get, the ball down to the byline. He's trusting his pace as lot, and he's trusting his technical ability to get past the wingback, which I think was a very, very good 1v1 down that left-hand side, the right-hand side of the QPR team. But Birmingham did everything to score in that game in the first 30 minutes. But when QPR scored, it was against the runner play. But it was because of Romain Burrell overhead kick where he tried, but it didn't work, and the ball went to a corner, and from there, QPR scored on a set piece as well. But from there, the game started to shift. Burrell started to get into the game. The moment Burrell started pick up the ball, you just look at the player and this player is playing with such confidence on the ball. You could see, he's very, expressing himself on the pitch as well. He's just playing free-flowing football. He's loving life at the moment. He's on form. He's like nothing bothering him. There's no fear factor around his game. He just wants to pick up the ball and run it. But you could see that the QPR team is playing for Romain Burrell. Yeah, this QPR team, they're playing to his strength. The amount of time, especially the last quarter of the first half, from around the 35 minutes on to the end of the first period, they were just hitting the ball through the channels, and everything was going into Burrell Park. But from then, the game continued riding out. Birmingham continued to get into the game, bits and phases, not more, dominant like they did in that first half, but in patches of the second half, they showed a little bit of character and showed a little bit of fight and grit to get it back into the game. And look, they got their goal in the 93rd minute, and I thought it was a draw. That was an assist by Demarai Gray as well. But QPR found a goal. Didn't you see that? When a team is playing like this, when a team is flying with confidence, these are the things that happen. When a team is on form, you gave up a goal in the 93rd minute, but 2 minutes after, you scored the winning goal, the winning goal moment, and that push QPR above Birmingham City. And saying this, the games are coming thick and fast. The next game for Romain Burrell will be away at the Riverside Stadium versus Middlesbrough, top team in the division as well. So let's see what the player will bring to the party. But what the fans been saying when Burrell scored that brace versus West Brom. So one of the fans went on and said, hey, Burrell, a very good player. He has a great football brain for his age. If Rangers are to keep him, they will need to go up, or he will be away like Eze in 2 or 3 seasons. If he stays injury-free, he will be the next Charlie Austin. Pause. Charlie Austin is a former player that used to play for Queen's Park Rangers, someone that scored 63 goals for them as well in over 100 plus appearances. Says, next Charlie Austin at the Bush, next season top goal scorer of the championship. If he keeps going like he is, this duo are the best 2 forwards in the league. So they're talking about Romain Burrell and Richard Coney. Power, pace, and precision. Well done to all the lads well done to all the lads, and the gaffer has turned this ship around. Kudos to them. That's a few fans comment right there. And other journalists would have went on and say as well, I was expecting more from West Brom, but that's not to detract from what I thought was really a good shift up by the Rangers. Romain Burrell work rate is exceptionally, and so too is eye reading of the game. It's not by luck that he is unusually in the right place at the right time. And Burrell, that if you say like, listen, this is a part of his strength. This is what he likes to do, read the game. This is no fluke. The player actually know how to read the game as well. Moving on to more what the journalists have said. No rumors of a move, no leaks in the world where everything comes out. Totally shock transfer after a preseason friendly. Unreal from 90 minutes. Most games, superb work rate and movement. Signing and a half doesn't do Burrell justice. ATM. So I have another one. Approaching the midway point of the season, but can we all agree Romain Burrell might be the EFL Championship signing of the season so far? Question sign. 750k fee, 9 goals and 1 assist in the league for Queen's Park Rangers. What a signing he has been for Queen's Park Rangers. That's what another journalist said in a few comments online after the West Brom game. Burrell already got 9 goals for Queen's Park Rangers. And even I can say this as well, like someone that used to be a part of the coaching staff, used to play for Queen's Park Rangers, one of, not say elite, but a very good striker at his own, Trevor Sinclair, usually be a part of the Queen's Park Rangers setup in the 90s, where he scored just over 20 goals, for Queen's Park Rangers. Burrell is just a few away from that in his just one season. While Trevor Sinclair plays so many games, he even went on to score 60+ goals for West Ham as well. One of the leading are in the top 10 of West Ham leading goal scorer in the Premier League, which Mikel Antonio broke in his time playing for West Ham as well. So that's what I come to the video, man. Thanks for watching. This is Nicardo Media House. See you guys again next time. Ciao. Salute.